Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Kwakadash. Double honor to the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to like Akim in the four corners, preaching truth and sincerity. Peace be unto you and Shalom. This is a video I want to get into about swirlers, MBs that particularly target Esau to date and to try to brag about. This video concerning them. This is Numbers chapter 1, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the tabernacle of the congregation on the first day of the second month in the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, Take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel after their families by the house of their fathers with the number of their names, every male by their polls. Now, I'm going to skip down at verse 18. It says, And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So if you look in the scriptures, every time you see genealogy, it starts with a man. Man, this man begot that man begot that man. Because a family line is carried through the father. So if you have a so-called black dad and a so-called black mom, well then you are a so-called biracial person, but in reality you are a so-called black man or a so-called black woman or an Israelite. There ain't no such thing as you mixed and stuff like this. There is a term called haplogroups. Haplo, if you break it down, haplo means one, group means group. You only belong to, one group. So what group do you belong to? Because if you have, let's say, an Asian woman and let's say an Ishmaelite man, that child, while it might have, some DNA from its mother, but far as what, haplogroup is going to belong to, that's going to be determined by the father. That, the man. So if a woman gets with a white boy, an Edomite, she has his kids, whether she be a black woman or a white woman, regardless of the complexion of that child is going to be whatever the dad is. So let's say the darkest black woman gets with, some, rosy red cheek, leprous, blonde hair, blue eyes, white boy cracker, and they have a baby together. Well, you just created a light-skinned cracker. That baby is going to have the spirit of a cracker. He's going to act like a cracker, behave like a cracker, think like a cracker. And also, if you just look and observe, I'm going to get this one scripture. Difference between Jacob and Esau. Before I make this point. Genesis 25 and 21. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and said, she said, if it be so, why am I thus? So like, why, if it's your, so basically she's saying, how, if this is your will, why am I struggling like this? Why is there this war, this, they fighting like this? Verse 23, and she went to inquire of Yahweh, and Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So this goes to show that everybody's not equal. God didn't create everybody equal. Just said right here that 2 different nations, 2 different manner of people, also even though they got the same father, same mother, they're going to be 2 different people, 2 different nations, and one going to be stronger than the other. Verse 24, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Verse 25, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. That's your first white man right there. Ever seen a white boy? They get bears, they get red, they get light, they get red, and here he is coming out of birth. He's super, super red. They breathe too hard, they get red, they hold their breath, they turn red. That's your first cracker right there. Now, scriptures, just said that one people, the verse above, shall be stronger than the other. So his brother came out. That's the one that was stronger. The little red little baby, that was the weak one. So back to my point is that if a black woman has a child with a so-called white man, that child is going to be weaker. And you can see this in sports. How many so-called biracial athletes do you know of in sports? It's a lot of them. All of them come from the byproduct of a so-called black man and a so-called white woman. Aaron Gordon, who's going to be in this upcoming dunk contest. Zach LaVine, who also was in a dunk contest. He won 2 of them and had the best dunk contest ever with Aaron Gordon. 2 so-called biracials. Both of them have a black dad. Austin Rivers, son of Doc Rivers. His mom is white. Where are all these biracial kids who have a white dad and a black mama? You're not going to see that. Go to your local YMCA. You see biracial kids who can jump, dunk, hoop, all that. Best believe they got a black dad, white mom. It's always like that. It's always been this case. That's how one is stronger than the other. Reading on, verse 26, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Now notice in verse 26, it never mentions the complexion of his brother Jacob. Why? Because he was born normal. There's no need to mention his complexion because he was brown just like everybody else. But they had to specify this guy's because he not only, was he hairy, but he was red. This something's wrong with this kid. That's the oddball. The one that you stay away from. And that's how, we supposed to be when, for as far as Israelite woman is dealing with an Edomite, you ain't supposed to, be reproducing these genetically inferior human beings. Because I don't care how, dark the child comes out, because it's not your complexion that makes you stronger. It's the fact that where do you come from? You have people like Justin Timberlake. You see he has heritage. Well, I want to say Native American heritage. That's a brother. That's a so-called black man. He moves, dances, sings just like a so-called black man. He got flavor. Scripture says, we're the salt of the earth. And a true white boy whose family lineage comes from, the deep interior of the Caucasus Mountains, you know, you're not gonna you're not gonna be able to say that, hey, yeah, man, that brother got some rhythm. A cracker is a cracker, you know, and swirling is completely wicked. That's something that, you know, Israelite women ain't supposed to do, you know, because you creating, you know, a little wicked little devil, you know. So-called black man that gets with a so-called white woman that produces a kid, that baby's still, you know, of his seed. That's still a black man. So he still can love his own kid. But if a black woman gets with a white man, you just create a little cracker. You're supposed to hate and detest that thing. But since it's, you know, your seed, chances are you're going to be attached to it. You know, and I want to just leave off on that note. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kwakwadas. Double honors to the elders, GMS, we well. Peace and salutations, and shalom.